So it's 9:01. I'm gonna call the meeting to order.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Patrick.
I am just working on calling in with my phone so I can use my headphones. Give me one sec.
Yes.
So the first item is to the presentation on the image tram on the agenda is on the Zoom. We can work into a few things.
Never mind. I guess it says it doesn't allow the phone, so I'll use my computer speakers. Am I coming through all right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Can we see you?
Let me get my screen shared.
Oh, we'll have to do something on our end, I think. We'll have to make you host. Correct? I got it. I think. Okay, you are now the host, so you should be able to share your screen.
Sweet. Are we good to get started, or do we need to wait a couple minutes?
Go ahead and start.
Go ahead and start. Start the meeting now.
Yes, Patrick. We're ready on our end.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for bringing me in to kind of talk about some of the stuff we're working on. Let me get I guess, where do you guys want to start? I know we have a list of things that you guys were looking to add to the State of Iowa site. I can dive into some of the product, or if we want to talk about how we get to the billing company.
I guess let's talk about what Image Trim brings to the table, your capabilities, and we'll just run through what the platform offers and some of the things that we had talked about last week as far as add-ons.
I temporarily fixed that roof over there, so it should be good.
Thank you, Dave.
I'm gonna be gone.
Okay.
With adding those.
So, and then we'll dive into the interface with the billing company, how that acts, and then I guess we'll end with cost. And I have printed out the agreement that Missy had sent.
Okay,
And,
cool.
We all have a copy of that as well. And so I'm sure the board members will have some questions. And I also printed out your key features of Elite EMS. So we may have to hit on that, the highlight points. And I think that can be done during the presentation.
Cool. Sounds cool. And I think we'll get all this done within our allotted time. I do have a hard stop at 9:30, but
Okay.
I'll move through this pretty quick. So,
Okay.
Is my screen coming through on your guys' side?
Yes.
Okay. So kind of some background on what Image Trend's providing. We do have an agreement with the state of Iowa that allows departments throughout the state to use Image Trend Elite for free. So I'll start off with what the free modules are already included, and then the list of items that I have on that quote and the agreement that we sent over. Those are add-on pieces. So you get the bulk of it for free, but there's some features and enhancements that this agreement would cover. So in a nutshell, this is a web-based solution. You don't have to download anything onto your own network or hard drives. Simply hit the URL that the state provides you and log in. Everybody will have their own unique username and password. So each individual that's documenting reports is going to have their own access. Once they're in, just keep in mind too, my site is a demo site, so it looks a little bit different than the state has set up, but the bulk of it's the same. So when they sign in, they're going to see this announcements page first. This is just helpful information that you guys can deploy department-wide to say, hey, here's some helpful information for, the upcoming month for training and activities that we're needing to do. Anything that you want to just voice out to everybody when they sign in, this is a nice announcements tab. The bulk of what your crews are going to be doing is documenting their EPCRs. So all of their 911, if you guys are doing interfacility transfers, anything like that, all of the documentation will go in here. So if they click incidents, they're going to have their EPCR. They simply click into it, and then the forms are going to be pre-built for you. The state already has a really nice template. So all you really need to do is log in, hit that form, and your crews are going to be off and running and documenting information that's happening during that incident.
So what happens if they're out in rural Jefferson County and there's no internet service?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and one of the features that we're potentially adding on. So out of the box, the system does need a Wi-Fi connection. We have a module that we're looking to add with you guys on that agreement called Elite Field, which would allow your crews to document without the use of the internet. It still uses the browser, so you operate still in Google Chrome or Firefox, whatever your favorite browser choice is, and the run form will look exactly the same. The only difference is it will say Elite Field up here at the top.
And they'll have, once they get back to somewhere, upload it to the system.
So they won't have to like rewrite everything?
No, it saves it, and then they just have the option to re-upload it once they get. hit
Does it
Wi-Fi somewhere.
automatically save it, or do they have to remember to hit save?
I think, isn't there a time that it automatically refreshes and saves like every few, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that?
So whenever you click into all these tabs, you can see the save button will initiate. Whenever you enter in information, it auto saves. And then if you're sitting idle for, I believe it's 2 minutes, this will auto save as well. But anytime you enter in a new field, it does it for you. We just put the button here because it makes you feel good that you can go in and manually click save, but it does it for you.
I thought it did.
The other enhancement that comes with Elite Field is it allows you to connect with your EKG monitors. So if you guys are documenting and collecting wave strips and adding in medications, vitals, and stuff, we'll put this button on your form so you can carry over all of that information into your report. So it saves your crews really a ton of time because they don't have to document it twice, and it ensures that it's accurate and you're not getting, fat fingering a vital and having wrong stats that you're plugging into the report. But essentially, your crews are going to be using this to document everything that they're getting called for on scene. So plugging in dispatch information, we're able to enter in all of our times manually or pull it in from our dispatch system. All of your narrative settings will be in here. We do have the ability to create custom narratives. So if you want to grab, like for example, we have an AMA that we just default a bunch of literature in here. So it already covers what your legal team wants your crews to document if you do have an AMA. That's just one example. You can really customize a lot of this to make it work for you and save a lot of time and not have to document twice. Let's see here. One of the other features that's available is getting the reports from your EPCR directly over to your billing company. So one thing that we can turn on is called an automated billing export. It's one of the items that's on your guys' quote and contract amendment here. Essentially, once your status gets updated to be ready for billing, one right here, we'll automatically grab that EPCR and electronically send that over to your biller. So they'll get the EPCR with the attachment so they can see wave strips, signatures, anything that's been done on that report. And then they're able to grab that and input it into their system automatically. So you're not waiting for a paper copy or scan an email. You're not having to do any of that. We send it securely and HIPAA compliant. So you're not having, somebody hacks your email and now they have access to all of these EPCRs kind of a thing.
So if the manager or director wants to look at any charting to see how the workers are doing, are they able to log in and see what they're writing?
Yeah. So first off, our system is completely permissions driven. So what that
Okay.
means is you can choose who can access what information. And
Right.
that comes out of the box. So for people who are going to be going in and reviewing calls, you would give them access to see everything. If I'm a paramedic with you guys, I'm probably only going to be able to see incidents that I was on.
Right.
So you can pick and choose who can do what. But essentially what they would do is log in. They would click into view existing EMS reports. And then here's all of the EPCRs that have been started or completed. We'll have a status down here as well. You'll have some information on the patient, and then they can view that PDF of the report here if they click print, or they can just go back into that report and see exactly what was documented. And this is what the print report would look like. Once we send this to your biller, we do send a PDF of the incident. So they're going to be able to see fields that you deem important. So you want to make sure you'll have like signatures, mileage, all the stuff that they need to bill. You can choose what fields will populate on this report.
And when you put a employee or somebody into the system, you have to go into a field and actually, like you said, select who can see what and who can't. It's really,
And then
Easy.
everybody will have their own login
Sure.
credentials as well. So even though we're sharing like tablets or whatever in the ambulance, everybody has their own unique.
Right.
login. So they can't see anybody else's charts unless they physically were on that call with that person. So.
Hey, Patrick, show us the, what you said about where incidents are located, what kind of incidents are there, so we can track, you know, what all image trend can do. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so you want to be able to see, like, are you talking on the reporting side, or you just want to see a list of incidents that are in a certain status or certain
Yeah,
incident
the
type?
incidents in a certain status and where our runs are mainly going, what kind of calls and, you know, some of the unique features that you bring to the table.
Yeah, so if you're looking just to see a list of all of your calls, I would do that in the incident list view. You can configure this view as well. So if I'm maybe I'm a reviewer and I only want to see incidents that are set to crew complete or ready for review, I can build out a view. Let's just say I want to look at all B shift views. There's criteria that you'll set up. It's very simple. And then you'll choose what columns are going to be reflected. So for B shift that are listed as crew complete, there's only one call right here, but I can see a response number, incident number, where we went, and you can choose to add or remove other columns if you want to see more or less information. So if you're looking just to see, you know, a quick snapshot of certain calls or however you want to view that, that's a quick way to do it. We also have a reporting option called Continuum, which is going to give you, let me zoom out just a little bit. This is going to give you more live time stats on what's going on with your department. So right here, we're looking at all of our calls for the last 7 days. This is live data from our friends at Virginia Beach EMS, but we can see on a map, here's where we're responding. So if I zoom in, I can see some incident clusters. If I click into any one of these, it'll give me the incident location. I can click in and it will give me the URL that will pop up that EPCR again. I can do some cool stuff with heat maps. So if I want to look at this more visually, I can see, yeah, here's our hotspots around our community. And then you can share a lot of this publicly too. So if you have like a internal or public facing website, you can post this online, and then community members, board members, whoever your stakeholders are, they're able just to hit that URL and see this for themselves. So you're not having to request the information from the paramedic teams. But underneath all the maps is your actual data. So this is looking at dispatch details of where we're going by city, by county. What are the top 20 complaints reported? Sick person is number one, not surprised. We can look at our call volumes by month, by year, by quarter, and then you can also look by call sign. So if we have all of our units and call signs that are in the system, we can see, hey, which trucks are the busiest by month? How does that kind of aggregate to the total calls? And by the way, all of this is pre-built, so you don't have to build this yourselves. This is an out-of-the-box reporting solution. It saves you a ton of time. You do have the ability to edit your filters though. So if you click in here, I can say, maybe I only want to look at cardiac related calls, or calls that have patient age greater than or less than maybe 65 years old. So things like that. You simply just add a row, choose your column you want to look at, and then choose your value. So pretty easy to manipulate that. Yeah, this is all built right out of the box. It takes a couple weeks to spin up, but after that, it's pretty set and go. You're not having to come back here and make revisions here every other day.
And
So
we're
some of
able-
that stuff that I used to give to the board and break it down by refusals, look, just says this would help. It will
It's
do
just the
that
same
for us.
system.
Yep.
So,
Mhm. And a lot of EMS services use that. I know here in Jefferson County, all the first responder groups use this because it's an easy thing. Like you said, the state offers
Right.
some of it for free.
Right.
More of these add-ons you have to pay for, but that way the state gets more information for some of their
Oh, that
stats
makes
that they
sense.
need.
Sure.
And with all of us being on the same system, feel that it'll be a
We can-
lot easier.
You know, with that breakdown, we can look at 911 calls versus interfacility
Right.
transports and break that down, and therefore we keep track of it.
And that's a type of aggregate data. we get to present.
That's
Mhm.
correct.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
And this feature we didn't have when I was with CARE or Midwest. The last two services of it. So I had to manually run reports and pull them out one by one. It would take me a day or two to do that, but we got the information we needed, but
Brian, you should make sure Image Trend has our correct address. Right now, they're sending us bills on 206 Maple.
yes, up here at the top.
That needs to change.
Okay, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Pulled that from Google. So there's a different one. Yeah, ping that over to me and I'll get that
If
updated.
you would like
Okay.
it, Patrick, it's 1900 West Burlington Avenue.
Got it.
If you want
I'll
to
make
jot
a note.
it down,
I'll make a note of that.
yeah. And we'll send it to you too.
Okay, cool. One other thing while we're talking about Continuum here, there's another feature that comes out of the box called monitors. This is an email and text alert engine that will fire off whenever something is documented a certain way or if something's missing. As a quick example, I've got one for when nitro is not given to a heart failure patient. So a lot of departments will do this when protocol isn't followed, maybe when a report is still in draft status after 24 hours, however you want to set this up. You build in, here's just a rundown of what the description of the monitor means. And then underneath the subscription message portion, this is the alert that will be sent out by either email, text, or by both. So you drag and drop the fields you want from your data set on the right. And then on the left-hand side is what the email message will look like. So this will populate your agency name, incident number, primary impression, meds given, and then also a link to that PCR. So you're not having to fish for it and try to go back to your incident list and grab it. It's just going to notify you and send that alert. So key personnel, administrators, medical control, you can set them up as subscribers. So whenever this monitor fires off, they'll get that in their inbox or it'll be sent to their phone as a text. So it's another nice thing to get data out to you right when it's happening, rather than finding out next time you're on shift and coming in and running a report and saying, oh shit, we have 5 reports that never got actually reviewed, or this protocol was missed the last 3 times this person was on shift. So just some easy things to get you data right in the moment rather than when it's too late.
Hey, Patrick, let's touch on Slate.
So Slate is our operations management and scheduling application. This does communicate right with your EPCR. So when you have your crews documented as being on shift, whenever a call comes through that matches the time and the apparatus responding, you're going to have your crew members auto-populate onto the report. So how this looks, and I just got a new laptop and all my screens are completely zoomed in, so I have to edit this a little bit. How this would work is you have your My Calendar view. This is what a crew member would see when they sign in. Anything that's listed in orange is a shift that's open that they can bid on. Anything in blue is a shift that they're assigned for. So if I click in, I can see I'm signed in as ImageTrend admin. I'm working as a captain on, in this case, engine 2. I can do some actions down here. If I want to make a trade, I can choose who I want to trade with, and then it will send them a message saying, do you approve or deny? Did this person irritate you last few days? Do you want to go ahead and, accept the trade? You can also do giveaways, which is a one-sided trade. I can say, hey, I'm not able to work this day. I know Brian wants it. I can just say, hey, Brian, take my shift. And he'll say, yep, cool. The last one is time off, pretty straightforward. You enter in your time off reason codes and they plug in what time they need, whether it's a whole shift or partial.
Also, for part-timers that won't allow, if they have 30 hours, it won't allow them to go over that 32. Is that correct, Patrick?
That's correct. You can build in some rules to say you can't work more than a certain hours. You can't give away if you're under a certain threshold, things like that.
And it won't, and then you can set those parameters to where if it's a paramedic shift, if you're an EMT, you can't pick up that shift. You have to have that certification in order to pick up that shift and things like that. And we like this because everything is in one program and you're not getting 2 or 3 different programs out there for
This is very
scheduling for
important to
this.
set that parameter so that
Correct.
if a part-time, they can't work over
Correct.
30.
And
'cause
even
that's a
some
wage
of the-
and hour violation.
Yeah.
Some of the full-timers, we can, parameter, and then just open up that PRN or whoever.
Yeah.
So,
There's also a mobile app that we have. Let me see if I can get a quick screenshot. The app is called Aware. You can actually go in and download it right now in the App Store or Google Play Store. It does a few things out of the box. It will let you track personal exposures. So if you want to track that, it will keep with you your whole career. But the big thing is it integrates with Slate, the scheduling application. So you can go in and see what you're assigned for. You can do all your trades and actions that I just showed you, but they don't have to log into a desktop or hit the URL on their phone. They can just have it all on the app. And then they'll get notifications when shifts are available and they can bid on stuff all from their phone. So I find end users will use that primarily. Unless they're at the station and have it popped up on their screen, they're primarily just using their phone for most of those day-to-day stuff.
Is there a charge for that app to the user?
It's free. So if we were to spin up Slate for you guys, we would just have it set up where you log in with your account through the app. So there's no separate charge. They just have to download it and log in so they have their password saved. In addition to the mobile app, we can also send text alerts whenever shifts are made available or when changes are made to your calendar. So they can get a push notification and email as well as a text notification too. We don't do any robocalls. Most states are outlawing that anyway. So we just figured, screw it, we're just going to stick with the texting piece. What else do you guys want to run through?
y'all have any questions?
It's pretty all-inclusive. So do any other counties around here use it?
I know Van Buren
Yes.
uses it. I believe Atumwa uses it. Like I said, all the entities like Packwood, Libertyville, Lockridge, all of them have this system in place as well. It's a very, very common.
This Fairfield first responders.
I believe they have the
first
same one too.
responders do use that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not
Is
sure.
it
I
track
think Fairfield fired it.
supplies usage?
Yes, it'll
Yes.
actually do that as well. That's with some of this add-on through Slate and other things. We can run reports of how
Patrick,
many
show us,
supplies we're using in a month. or
supply usage, stuff like that, how we can keep track of that.
Does it?
So we have
Too on the vehicle. You can set that up.
inventory is built in, so there's no separate cost. Once you guys have your URL from Terry at the state, you can go in and start playing with this. It's not going to hurt anything. You can always go back and delete your test data. But you do have the ability to track your inventory and run maintenance and stuff on it.
Mhm.
So if we look at, let's look for engine 1 here. Let's just go in. You can configure what these forms look like. So all the fields that are going to be getting collected, you can choose what you want to document. This is a piece of inventory on an engine. So we can collect our name, product information of what brand, model, SKU, purchase details. You can choose what tabs will be listed here on the left-hand side. Document specifications, fuel receipts. You do have a document folder. So if you want to snap like a screenshot of a purchase order, or maybe it's a piece of inventory for medications. Maybe you want to document the, if you had to refill a certain medication, you can just document that here and keep track of it. If you do need to run maintenance, you do have this tab right here. Just click add new maintenance and you can say, here's what we need to do. Maybe it's just a quarterly inspection or any repairs. Once that repair is done, you can document that in the repairs as well.
And with
Pretty
this,
slick.
like you said, we're like, it's one program. You're not buying into 2 or 3 different programs to get the information you want. It's all in one, and it's more cost effective. We thought.
So I have a real general question, and it's more a question for our county attorney that I'm going to ask since you work with other entities. On that map where it showed the hot spots, is that, and I realize it doesn't give addresses or anything, but obviously in a community of our size, which is pretty small, I'm just wondering about if that should be like, obviously it could be probably requested as public information, but maybe not like put on the website and like see where the ambulance goes.
No, and what you can, so let me just show you here. If you want to mark something as public, you click your little eyeball. And then I'm going to set this up to region. So what the zoom level means is it limits you on how far in you can see where the incidents are popping up. Actually, let's just put small state, see what that looks like. So once you click save, it'll give you the URL. So just copy and paste that into your browser. And you can email this out. You can put it on your public facing site, but I can't zoom in anything further than this right now. So you can choose, hey, well, this is useless, but maybe you would want to do the regional setup. But yeah, you can choose, hey, you can't zoom into the actual street view because we don't want to have a risk of HIPAA and stuff like that. So
Right.
that would solve that for you.
If you want to send it out too.
Right.
It's not that we had to do it.
That's mainly for our information.
Sure.
And then.
No, and that would be good for our information, but I just don't think it should be, we need to talk to Chauncey about.
It wouldn't be
No,
anything
we
that I
need to
would
give
want
out
to
the-
put out to anybody, but maybe to you guys to look into, you know.
And we
So
got
you kind
that
of know.
on the
You can
ambulance.
choose, you can pick and choose what you share. So this is live. This is a live site from Addison Fire. They're just northwest of Chicago. This is all fire data. So this is public. They can zoom in all the way that they want. But you can choose what you want to share. They have some maps. They do have top 20 medical complaints. So pretty broad. It's not getting into anything
Sure.
identifying, but
Yeah.
you can pick and choose what you want to share.
Okay, no, that's good.
Nice.
Is there anything else I can answer for you guys? We're
No,
right up on
thank you.
time, but want to make sure we're good to go.
Where are you located?
I'm in Minnesota. My wife and I, we just moved literally 3 days ago to our new house.
All right.
So we're in the Twin Cities. Yeah. Our office is located in Lakeville, Minnesota, though. So we're about 25 minutes south of Minneapolis, right off 35.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick. We appreciate your time and thank you for Zooming with us today.
No problem. I'll follow up with you guys here probably early next week and just let me know what you need. And like I said, if I'll make the edit on the address for sure, but if we
Yeah,
need to,
thank you.
if there's anything else, just let me know.
Yeah, I sent you that information as well a while ago to your phone.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you guys. Hope you have
Thank
a
you.
fun 4th of July weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
It is 10 o'clock and we are going to open the bids for the 1900 West Burlington Fairfield, Iowa project. Abby, you want to do the honors?
Okay,
No, you can. I might cut myself.
this was over both of these. Oh, that's.
Let Steve look at it and give us the official look. Same one, right? This is just the,
I got it.
it's a
It's
bond.
a bid security of the sealed bid.
Yeah, it's the same company, so there's just one.
Yep.
You know what's coming,
At the risk of
What's
being-
that?
Sergeant.
What were you going to say?
Well, I just wondered if he could tell us. That's bid package one.
We got security behind that. That is.
Oh. So I'm confused.
It's one company, but they have two envelopes. One's the bond amount of security that shows they have the bond. The first one was the
And there was only one addendum, correct?
Mhm.
He's noted that he's seen it, has that included.
what's it say about completion date?
Well, on the form, it was, on or before.
Okay,
On or before that date. You guys have I don't have it. That's why I thought what everything was going to be. But anyway,
He's on vacation.
he's on vacation, yeah, like he's not here. And that's why he sent that email to have her be sit in on it, so she can see what we're doing, but
I sent Mike a text with the number I've got.
we,
so.
So it's Mike. I'm just trying to call Verizon.
I'm trying to name this number.
I'm looking for it, but all it is
What
is
you want?
Verizon's number. I just got one,
So
Does
the,
this number
so
start
the,
563?
do one of you have the packages sheet?
It's in,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he does.
I've got 563, 506, 4965.
But I think that's Mike's.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the website to see what their office number is.
So all he has bid is here, all he has bid is a general condition, general construction work. That's bid packet 1. And he did not have the concrete work, does not have the electrical communications, does not have the plumbing, does not have mechanical. So his bid is just for bid package 1, which is general conditions.
So there was a separate one for the rest then?
What's that?
There was a separate one for the rest? And we didn't
So
get any
then I'm
bids
looking
on
at
it?
There
this.
were 5 altogether packages.
And then we got one bid. Okay, well then why did that company, because I left a message at 9:30 and said, call them, let them know who the lowest bid was. That's odd. I'm gonna try this.
So,
Ideal concrete.
yeah, so all he has bid is the general conditions, which are the windows, the demolition, the trim, the building the garage, or, and
Yeah, it's like,
yes, and putting in the windows and all, but there's no concrete in the general conditions. So, but these are the bid packages.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And unless 1 is considered all of them, but I don't think that's the way he had it broke down.
so what do you recommend we do?
Well, no, that's
kind of
Mike's
what it's-
deal,
Okay.
and that's why Mike was going to get these. That's why all I was doing, just wanted to be here
Sure.
Yeah.
to see it, and
We're glad you're here.
Mike was going to have his gal look, or, be here to open them
I just
or
have one.
over
4965.
via whatever. But he's got the general conditions, and on here, it's only 1, and he's not done any of those. So it looks like.
So Steve, should somebody contact him and say, is this what you intended, or was this your mouth for everything?
Well, I think that,
I agree with you. It
Oh,
looks like
there we
it's
go. She's- oh, it's foundation.
Oh.
No, it's foundation.
so, well, at this point, general conditions, bid package 1, general construction work, as shown and specified in the contract documents for the lump sum of 303,517. So 303,517. And unless that is all of the packages in 1, but there is a general conditions, and then there was all the others. I'm saying we have none of the others.
Right. So we need
Sounds
to talk to Mike.
So, well, you have to talk to Mike anyway, because he's going to make his recommendation
Yeah.
on where to go. That's his job.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate that Mike's on vacation this week.
it's what we're paying him for.
Right, and it's unfortunate he was on vacation, but that's why he sent the email. That's why I thought that she was going to be on there. And I knew that you guys got the email, so
Yeah.
that it slipped through. It doesn't matter. But now these have to go to Mike,
Go ahead.
and then we'll have to, he's
Yeah.
gonna make his recommendation and what.
What I'll do is I'll send her the agenda and the link is on the agenda.
So,
So I'll send it. Okay, perfect. I was doing that right now. Yeah, but
Seems like she's trying to get in, but she didn't do it.
Doesn't change.
okay.
so he has it made, so he has his bid bond and everything for bid bond for that amount for his general conditions. So he's done
See
what,
the papers. Thank you.
looked like there were more than one copy, because they're all, like, this one's the same. So it must have said it had to have 3 copies or something. And I guess it's make sure there's not another copy or another bid for the other thing, but this one only has. And if he was doing it, you'd not even put, no, I'm saying we're gonna put them all in.
Yeah.
On that one sheet, because they're all listed. It's got the breakdown, all the different packages. He's only done this one package. So,
I'm saying email address.
Say that again.
And I sent it. The email that he just sent.
but I'm saying right now, at this point, these gotta get trimmed into Mike.
Can you scan them and send them to him?
And then but we only have, so you're minus concrete, electrical and communications, plumbing, and mechanical. So,
Just a few little.
yeah, without all those, the first one doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
Exactly. I thought it was awfully low.
So,
This can't be the whole project.
but so I'm sorry, I planned on, I mean, that's what Mike's job is, and Mike is supposed to have his guarantee. That's the whole book, that's not the. That's what I gave you. There was a breakdown of the. It's not in here. I'd be happy to call her and find out what I can find out. But I know he's still on vacation, so.
Well, Lena's, do you have Lena's number?
Hi, no, I just brought on the link.
She's
and
trying to
find-
log in, right?
Yeah, I sent her the agenda with the link on it.
Lena,
And
What is her name?
Mike that was on,
Lena.
Lena,
and I talked to Mike and he said she doesn't have the link, which I find. But I sent it to the only email address I have, which is the one that he emails us on,
mhm,
which is on his website.
So you sent it to him or to Lena?
I sent it to the only email address I have.
While we're waiting for this, can we go ahead and do Roberts?
So we'll pause on this for a moment. Next item is to discuss and consider railroad crossings on Quince.
Do we need Shannon for this? Because she was wanting to talk about.
Oh, probably.
I'll go get her. Maybe some fun balances.
Mhm.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
This was crossing. Yes, sir.
It is almost Christmas in July.
I know.
I don't know what date that is.
If you watch Hallmark Channel, I just if you're around.
Joe, we were kind of patiently waiting for that number, weren't we?
The what?
We were waiting for that number patiently as they reviewed the documents.
Okay,
So we know where all these bids were placed, not published yet. Did we place them posted?
all right.
It was out in the plans room and I think it was Iceberg Foot and a couple of the others. And then we talked to several people. I thought we were gonna have concrete and electrical for sure. In those numbers. I didn't know, I didn't talk to, had no idea what Rod was going to have, so.
So you have different email addresses.
Did you email them?
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for it up, why don't you want to still talk about the Red Cross?
Yeah, so we already voted, what, 21,000?
Mhm.
So in order to,
26.
yours is on you. So I'd like to at least do that one in concrete, just because it gets a lot of traffic.
But that's only half.
Exactly.
It's-
So if we only do half, we only do half. There's 3 other ones on down between there and Lockridge that are half done.
No, I mean, it's not only half the crossing.
Correct.
Doesn't make, what would you do with the other half? The board?
There's 3 others, if you went up and looked at them. There were 3 between Spruce and the East County that were half done. Was it Tangerine and
Yeah, that's
Lockridge
One set
City?
of timbers and one set of concrete panels.
Which is where they already showed the precedent, just now they want to charge us. So,
So, and you may know this, I don't know, I had a conversation with them.
Let's see if this on.
she is on.
Or do that first.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Okay, Lena, are you on? Can you unmute and talk to us? She does.
I think you have to let her in.
I thought it did. She is in now. This is weird because this shows she's in. and I'm letting
She
her
wanted
in.
us to call as well.
Do what?
Call. Just a call.
Are you in, Lena? Are you
Like
in?
when we do Zoom meetings, we have to call and get on the computer because we don't have microphones or cameras.
We can't hear you here. We can't see her, Lena. Oh, she just hopped off. No, she didn't.
What
She's,
just changed? There's something.
she's on it here, and she's on the computer. Looks like she's on. Oops. Lena,
Seemed like it.
it shows a muted microphone
She
and
may be having trouble with her mic. My setup has 3 different mics and I have a heck of a time figuring out which one's
Okay.
working on Zoom.
One of us could call her. She could call one of us if we.
do you have her number?
No.
Don't.
Well, just.
Lena, can you send us your numbers and we'll just call you?
We're just calling.
It'd be simple if she would just dial her phone. That way, otherwise we have to go send her a number.
Oh, she can hear us. Can you hear us, Lena? If you can, call my phone 641-451-1293.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm working remotely, so the Wi-Fi was not working on my computer. I have you guys on my phone and I can hear you.
All right, so we only got 1 bid and it's only for package 1. So we need some clarification from you on what to do.
Did you hear that, Lena?
Yeah, I was looking, I haven't seen the bid yet.
Oh, yeah, we opened it up And it was from RG Construction. And it was for package general conditions, package 1. And it was for 300.
You can't, unless you're gonna award the contract, you shouldn't divulge what that total is.
Okay.
Good point.
Thank you. Good catch.
Yeah, sorry, I just haven't seen so we have one bid from RG Construction.
Yeah.
So Abby,
Bid package 1.
Abby will scan it and send it to you.
What else?
Okay, thank you. And so,
Just these two. Do I need to
I-
send you that?
That's
I believe that our options would be if you like the bid and you want to review it, then can go forward with it. I think the other option would be to extend the bid period to try and get more responses. I don't know if we want to do that because of the tight deadline of this project.
Well, I guess we'd like to know why we didn't get any bids on the other 4 categories: concrete, electrical, and communications, plumbing, and mechanical.
I guess, Lena, the question I have is, and I think Steve was asking it too, is bid 1 package all encompassing, or is it strictly each one of these bid packages are individual? And I'm like D, I'm questioning if they're individual, why the others were not bid on. I don't know where they went out to.
Yeah, that's a good question. So they are all individually packaged. And we did that to try and get more bids on this project. And we had a couple questions come back. So I'm also shocked that there was only 1 bid on the project. So bid package 1 would just be the concrete work and the site work, I believe. It would not include any of the electrical work or anything on the interior, since that was a separate bid package. We could extend the bid period and maybe reach out to the contractor that bid and see if they were interested in any of the other bid packages, or I can ask Mike to see. He had gotten a few questions. Who else was at least reading and commenting the bid package, and we can see if maybe they needed more time, or if they just couldn't get it together by today's date, or why there's only 1 bid.
But how long would you recommend we extend it if we extend it? Because we clearly need to get the other 4 components.
Nothing's happened.
And I coincidentally, somebody called the office here at 9:30 and left a voicemail because we had another meeting. And it was a concrete company that wanted to know what the low bid was on the concrete.
Oh, that was the concrete supplying company.
Interesting.
That was a concrete supplier, so they were just, they have been talked to about it.
Yep.
So, but no one's bid it, so, but they don't know that, and so they were just wanting to know who it was, so they could
Mhm.
start talking to them. Yeah. And they're
Yeah.
just being aggressive,
Well, it's the number.
yeah, which is nothing wrong with
I've got it.
being ready to go get it. I mean, that's all good, but yeah, that means, really doesn't mean anything other than they knew about it.
And they
Whether
didn't
someone's
bid on it.
called or they just knew it was bidding and was wondering who got it, so they could go talk to them about. Because now that, there's another concrete company in town, so I'm sure that's part of it. So,
Okay. Are Steve and Andy there? I'm sorry,
Steve's-
Austin.
Steve,
you guys have-
I'm here.
Did you have any other questions come in from contractors during the bid period? Do you know if anybody was waiting?
I
Or sorry, I don't
contacted-
have a lot of information, but I was wondering if you had more.
I contacted some and I did get back a couple of them that it's bad timing, they're busy, and the deadlines were not suitable for them to bid the package. But I did talk to a couple concrete people that sounded like they were going to bid it. And I know of electrical that I thought was bidding it. Actually, two of them. So, but obviously they didn't. So I can't, for whatever reason, they didn't bid it. I was surprised when I came last night and said, one bid, one bid pack, that's all they received. So I can't, I mean, all I can say is, was I surprised? Yes. And I didn't know if the bid packet would have all of them included. It doesn't. So that's where we're.
When is Mike back?
He'll be back on the 6th of July. So he's been responsive to me through Teams and emails, so I can tell him what's been going on and see if we work for next week to send to you guys. I'm sorry that I didn't have a better answer, but I'm really shocked that there's only one bid. We were at G Construction previously on a different, they are also general contractors, so maybe they have interest in doing more than bid pack. I don't know. That's kind of the extent, the options I can provide right now.
I mean, honestly, the part of it I do think is the timing.
Yeah.
Because people are real busy right now.
I agree.
And then you have a deadline. I know there's no liquidated damages, but if you can't do it, no sense saying you can, when you can't get it done. So, I mean, that's how people, and I respect that, because I don't like someone telling me what I want to hear, but then at the end don't want to follow through and have no intention of doing
I'm
it.
sure that
So,
plays into it.
yeah. So I think that, and that's what I found, because we were reaching out to people and we were trying to do local too. And that, and the other thing is a lot of the locals, they don't do a lot of commercial. They don't like to, the bid bonds and all that. They're like, yeah, I don't, get into that.
Well, it sounds like maybe the discussion we need to have. Is there something on our agenda Wednesday is about, do we want to extend the period and look for an alternate location for?
I wouldn't have known you needed that, so it's not on.
Okay, October
I think what you're
1st.
saying is, could we get it on?
Could we, yeah, it seems to me we need to have a conversation, is we need to come up with a contingency plan if this is, because this is a short time period, and if we rebid it, I understand that, and I admire a company for not committing, and especially if they're local, they don't want to commit and not meet the deadline. So we get that, but it's in the grand scheme of things that's hurting us. So maybe what we need to look at is a contingency plan, which I know various ones of us have ideas for what we could do in an interim basis and really do this right. That's kind of, I don't know. We need to have that discussion.
That's discussion, you guys will,
Yeah. and Steve,
that's what you need. I mean, like I said, I'm surprised we didn't have concrete ones, because ones I talked to sounded like they were gonna bid it, but obviously they didn't, so.
if between now and the next few days, you have a creative thought, let us know.
If something just hits me upside the
Yeah,
head.
yeah, it hits you.
Right?
So just for clarification, on my part, exactly what is it that they're going to do for that amount of money?
Well, you said windows, demo, trim, and garage.
I was looking for the scope on that. It's broke down, but it's not in this. It would have been something you guys got from Mike. I don't have it with me, but I can grab that and I can let you know what that was. But it's generally everything except for concrete, electrical, HVAC.
Okay, so I apologize for being confused, but I need clarification. So if you're gonna build the base, don't you have to do it all?
Well, the concrete has to be there, but you don't have to be, if you're not a concrete guy and concrete people are bidding it, then, it can be a different person can put the
I
concrete in.
get that.
He cannot perform his, you're correct. He can't perform that without that being in.
Is he doing a tear off?
I think that the demo was in the general conditions, I believe, yes.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it. then we would just have to do that. If I,
So if they're doing the tear off and knocking out all the islands and everything, right?
I believe that is correct in the scope, which is what you, I thought you guys have all that here. But
We only have what we're paying Mike to do, and we don't know. I mean, we're paying up a hell of a lot of money, and right now I'm not satisfied at all with what we've got. I don't understand the timing is poor. I get that, but what I don't understand is that if you're going to tear everything off of there and tear all those islands out of there, then what this individual is saying evidently is somebody else is going to come back in and fill the holes that we make.
it's a foundation plan. And that's not uncommon for, but a lot of times the GC will include that, and he'll get a price from his concrete guy to install that.
That's what my next question was.
Right.
Are they subcontracting any of this out?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Lee, I bid stuff all the time, or, I bid stuff, and when I bid a GC package, if I bid it all of those people are subs to me.
Right.
Unless unless my crew, it's something that my crew does, build a steel building, or if it's demo and I need them to do the demo, my guys can do various things, but, I don't have to do.
No, I get
You
that.
get, and so what I'm saying is, and that thing, the way it was broke down, it was hoping to get more participation. So Mike's, I'm not defending Mike, but I guess I am defending Mike. He was trying to get more participation by breaking it down in the different scopes. And because sometimes then, you can keep it more competitive that way. And, if a subcontractor like the concrete company was going to bid the foundations and the flat work, they don't have to mark. If they give him a price and that's what they'll do it for, then he's going to mark it up. So by doing the separate things, you save that markup. And then my job as CM is to make sure that he stays on schedule to get that done for when that building's going to go on. That makes sense?
That makes sense, but
Okay. So I understand the frustration. I'm frustrated. So don't, I'm in the same boat because I really, thought get some bids. Mike would be able to review them. He'll give his recommendation. We could start moving forward and we could start building. But without all of them, you can't move forward.
Lena, can we get a meeting scheduled with him? I suppose it'd have to be Thursday.
Yeah, I think that would be possible. And thank you for that explanation, Steve. Sorry again for the technical issues I'm having on my end.
Yes, do we? I'm just asking.
if we need, if we rebid, do we need to have Mike's permission to do that? Or?
Well, at this point, at this point, I'd say yes.
Okay. So
Or his recommendation. I don't think you have to have his permission, but.
Okay. Here's what.
Yeah, I think
involved in
he
that.
could help us kind of decide what the steps are to move forward. And then if anything needs to go back, I know we had to announce it in the paper and do some of the steps there. So he'd be able to understand more thoroughly what the next steps are and what our options are to a better degree than I can explain.
Okay, Lena, thank you very much. We should probably have a meeting.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm sorry for the frustration and I'm surprised as well. And thank you, Steve, for your explanation.
And Lena, if we schedule something, he can do it by Zoom.
You should be back in the office. But yeah, I think Zoom would have more availability faster rather than coming to you guys. And then I will explain to him how today went so he has a heads up and can start thinking of a game plan to move forward.
Can you send us some times on Thursday that would work for him?
Yep, I can do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Steve.
all right, so I'm going to ask another question. So we put this out for bid and nobody bid. So can we do whatever we want to do now? Can you reach out to Acme Electric Company and say, hey,
It's a good question.
we put it out for bid, nobody bid on it. So it seems to me that we should be able to go whatever direction we need to go to make it work.
Because we did our due diligence and put
Exactly
it out
right.
Sounds like an attorney question.
there.
Yeah, I would agree. Sounds like an attorney question.
Well, I think Mike might be able to answer that.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's, because I agree with what you're saying. We've done our due diligence. We don't have anything, so.
Yeah.
if we keep going forward. How do you do that? So you just go ahead and you have me recruit people and say, hey, can we get her done? And
That's the way I see it.
so,
All right, thank you. I guess that's it.
We
for
can
now.
ask that question at 10:30.
It is 10:30, but yes. All right,
Why doesn't Chauncey just come over here?
thank you, Lena.
That's a $64 question.
Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for your patience today. Sorry, I was hoping for better results and today would have gone smoother.
Thank you.
thank
I would suggest we ask Chauncey.
Bye, have a good day.
here, so we could just continue this. We've got Abby sitting here, Shannon sitting here, these questions answered.
That's an excellent suggestion, Susan.
I'll text you. Okay, let's go. Zoom's still on.
Pest control. Do you wanna-
Good try.
So,
I don't really have time to sit through the whole meeting.
No, that's
Yeah,
why,
if
that's why
I
we
could
just
just
did
come
that.
over when you're ready.
we
then
are ready
do-
now.
We are ready
Okay.
right now.
So I know you want us to designate
Susie.
some money.
Yeah,
Tell us all the same thing at the same time, so we.
you've got a resolution there that I
Okay.
gave you a copy of.
Oh, is that what that is?
Right here in the bottom.
I know that you committed the American Rescue Plan monies for the Prairie Ridge Campground, 440,000.
Mhm.
And the rural broadband,
Mhm.
$274,963.22. The courthouse construction project, $16,030.44.
And then at that work session, we talked about, and you gave us some updated, what, it was $1 million for the per ambulance.
You put $1 million for the ambulance in your budget, so I think it would make sense to use that same amount for what you're committing of the American Rescue Plan funds.
Well, we
But I
had,
did leave that blank in case you.
we had
wanted
two
to do a
buckets.
different
We had
amount.
one was the ARPA
Yep.
and one was the operational. So do
Yeah.
you want both of those or do you just want the ARPA?
Usually for the committing of the funds, it's just the out of the ordinary kind of things, which would be the
The
$1
ARPA.
million out of the ARPA
Okay.
for the startup.
And then the other thing we could do, because you had told me when I asked if this could go a few years ahead,
Yes.
do we need more to accomplish what you need here?
Just anything that you can think of. There's no
Well,
certain dollar amount,
We
but
have the bond payments we know will be coming up. That's out of general basic, right? Because this is,
no,
they're
the
not.
bond payments are out of the debt service funds.
Okay, so that doesn't qualify.
No.
You want general basic only.
Yep, general basic and American Rescue Plan,
Okay,
because those are the unassigned balances. All of the debt service funds dollars are assigned, restricted.
is general basic include the COVID money or is that under the other bucket?
It includes the CARES money.
So the railroad crossing would qualify.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just need a dollar amount that you would want it. And it doesn't have to be exact, it just has to be your best estimate. I would err on the side of being conservative. And because otherwise, if you do more than what it actually ends up being, then you have to unassign it later, yeah.
What's that, where would,
$25,000.
have you done a survey of how many cars or trucks or vehicles cross Quince?
I did not.
You working on
I can't.
did
Doesn't
you get
help
the
us
counter
today.
to work?
Yeah,
it? Yeah, you did.
we used it on nutmeg, but I didn't have it secured down well enough, so we got some funky.
I mean, we need that
But
soon,
then we
don't we?
did it on Pleasant Plain and had it installed a little more securely, and it worked out quite nicely.
Nice.
So I had a constituent come in last week sometime. was here on other business, but stopped in. And he indicated that, and I don't know which crossing, obviously it's out east. We had a low boy cross one that had concrete
That was on Pine.
and tore up the concrete.
Yeah,
That's
D
a-
was right behind him.
I
when they did it.
actually saw that, but I didn't know I saw that at the time, so I called Dwayne right away.
Yeah.
But what happened, he should not have been on that road. There's a sign there that says no low boys,
No what?
no low boys.
Okay.
Isn't that what that sign says?
Yeah,
It's a
no-
low,
No,
it's,
no tractor trailer combination because it's low and then the bottom of the low boy caught the concrete
Right.
ridge.
it was a huge rig. I had never seen anything like it. So I don't know if it was a windmill, something that was not any construction,
Yeah, it
normal
was somebody trying to
construction.
avoid tearing
Yeah, he was, we followed him all the way past the Cambridge thing.
Yeah, we got to Pleasant Plain and then they
Yeah.
turned on, either they went straight or turned on the pavement, so we
And
couldn't.
I would have turned around
Pursue
and followed him, but I was on my way to an ambulance board meeting, so I
So
didn't have any
that's
time.
fine. My question is twofold. One, whose responsibility is that to fix? Two, you say there was a sign there. Who posted the sign?
We posted the sign.
Okay,
The railroad fixed the crossing.
okay. I was told a long time ago by the county attorney's office, if you put a load limit sign, for example, on a bridge, unless you have an ordinance, you cannot enforce that. And so if somebody drives across a 6-ton bridge with a 20-ton load and it collapses, it's not on the person to do it across the bridge because we don't have ordinances governing it. So my question is, do we have to do the same thing then, say, for example, on that type of deal? Just a
No,
question.
because that's an advisory. That's not a railroad, a bridge posting is a regulatory posting. That is law. A rail crossing like that is a advisory that says that you may ruin your equipment if you drive across. It's just, it's just like the curb signs, they have a yellow speed limit on it.
Well, and that's really not, I guess,
And I think for person about.
our conversation at this point, but
I think that's the issue.
it doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, I don't know how long railroad ties last, regular railroad ties. I have no idea. I have a concern about paying the railroad to do what's the railroad's responsibility to do.
I understand that, but the other thing is, it's in bad edge of the travel. There's a lot of people, and they actually, it's probably been 3 or 4 years ago now, closed a crossing completely for 18 months, which is a huge inconvenience to all the farmers. I know one I talked to said this was on 205th. And he said, I go down that road because I want to stay off the highway for safety reasons. And then they closed it and we had no authority over them to get that thing open. That's the one that we have plans for next year that we're getting that grant for, but,
So I think the root of the thing here is to determine a dollar amount. Is there any way, I know we've already committed 25,000. You say it's gonna take double that. Is there any way we can get any grants to help that?
Unfortunately, the grant program we can get, but by the time you run through
hang
the
on a minute.
40 or 60-40 or 60-20-20 split,
Yeah.
it costs, our contribution would be the same.
Oh, another, that's right, you explained it to me.
Yeah,
We're still in our 10 o'clock meeting.
because right now you're getting
So I'll just, if you're okay.
the cost
then we'll-
difference
we'll
between
figure
the
out
ties
something.
and the concrete. The installation is already covered. All that $800 a running foot is the difference between timbers and those
Doesn't
concrete
matter,
panels.
it's gonna be able to, but.
So the railroad's already covering the labor, the removal,
I'll call
all
you
the
when
other
we're
stuff.
done here, and we'll figure it out, okay?
And it's just very coincidental that the amount that we'd be responsible if we got a grant is exactly equal to what it's costs.
Sure.
The cost that they're proposing. I'm sure it's coincidence. It's,
And so initially, I thought we thought we'd take the money from the CARES funding, which is 136,000. 25 off of that, which is about 15,000, but now it's 50 off of that, 52, whatever the dollar.
and 51
Yeah,
and change.
and that's, that dollar amount is what Shannon would like to know. So she can go back to work.
I just want a conservative estimate of it.
50,000.
Okay,
How about $2,000, $2,500?
50,000?
50,000 would be a conservative.
Are they gonna be working out there then now with the dropping
believe
in
so.
Fairfield? Yeah.
And they haven't wrapped up yet.
So, okay, so now. So 50,000 is conservative, $51,000. And let's suppose that they get into it now and they come back and say, we lied, it's 60,000. Where does this end?
Lee, I'm sorry, I was not listening.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, so we put in what I don't consider conservative, but we put in what qualifies as a conservative amount, 50,000. And we're being told it's right now, the information you've been provided, it's 51,000. But they run into some hiccups out there, we lied at 60,000.
The hiccups are on them, because they would have those hiccups.
Are we gonna have a contract, a written
Yes,
contract that
we
everybody
will have a
signs?
written contract. But we have to tell them what we want before they get us the written contract.
What we want is we want them to pay for their own damn railroad crossing. I got a quarter of that.
I don't know. I think you're way from the way.
So we have what Shannon needs from you.
We have what
To vote
Shannon
on
needs.
it.
We need
No,
a
we have-
motion for this.
but I'll vote on the
Yeah,
resolution.
discuss and consider committing the fund balance, which would be Quince 500 or 50,000, Prairie Ridge Campground 440,000, rural broadband $274,963.22, courthouse construction project $16,030.44, ambulance $1 million. That hurts to say.
So move.
Moved by Sandquist, seconded by
Question. This is just for this resolution. It doesn't, we don't have to do it.
Well, this resolution is saying that you're committing these resources to these projects. You don't have to put anything on there for the railroad crossing, and you can decide at a future point if you want to do it or not. If you put it on here, you don't have to do it, but it is saying that you're committing to doing this project. You can back out of it through another resolution, but I wouldn't recommend putting it on there if you're not fully committed to that project. We can cross off the railroad crossing and just put the other ARPA projects if that's what you would prefer to do.
You can put the 25,000 on that we have committed.
If the CARES money is not our.
No, but it's CARES, it's in general basic.
Right, yeah, that CARES money is in the
qualifies.
general basic fund.
Because she was trying to get her ending fund balance.
Yeah, it's just to get an accurate reflection of what our uncommitted ending fund balance is. This would be saying that is not part of the unencumbered fund balance. So this is completely optional. You don't have to do it. It's only trying to get a good reflection of where we're at on unencumbered fund balance.
Okay, so on the remaining balance, for example, on the CARES fund, do we need to commit that?
You don't have to commit any of it. It's just if you feel like you've got a project coming up that you're feeling fully committed to doing, that's the only things that I would recommend putting on this.
So I hear you saying, don't put the dollar amount for the railroad crossing.
I wouldn't if you don't feel like you're fully committed to that project.
So we could come back in July or August and go ahead with that.
Yeah, you can do it.
We'll need to know for
If we wait too
sooner.
long, the window's gonna be closed.
Wind to window closing.
That I don't know.
Probably really soon. if
They're,
gonna
they're
work on it.
working through town, so we need to do it while they're in the county.
This resolution is just an internal statement saying, for the purposes of our ending fund balance, we are fully committed to doing these projects that are on this resolution. And that shouldn't be considered as part of the fund balance. That is just what we would consider a reserve.
So would we want to put that additional $80,000
If you've got a
into
project,
ambulance on the
If-
CARES money?
I
if
think we've
you're
got enough
committed
in
to
the
using
ambulance
it
right
on the
now.
ambulance.
I think we have enough money committed for the ambulance right now, and just having it sit there is not gonna hurt anything, correct? Whether it's
Correct.
136,000 or 86,000.
Right.
Um,
No, we don't need to
I know
commit
she's
that.
got an Here's
Yeah,
the
well, here-
I'm just not following what Susie's saying.
What she's saying is that the remaining, if you put the 50,000 in for the railroad that's coming out of the CARES money,
Yeah,
the remaining can sit there. It's not hurting anything. We don't lose it.
it can all sit there. You won't lose any of it. This is just speaking to the fund balances and projects that you have on the horizon that you're committed to doing.
So
It's
I
not,
think,
it's not anything other than trying to establish how much of your fund balance is unencumbered and can be, just considered a reserve,
Mhm.
and how much of it is committed to a
Okay.
specific project. So this isn't actually expending any money or anything. It's just talking about the fund balance and how much of it is.
before we add on to the 30 to 25,000 or whatever it's road crossing, I would like a survey of how many cars and trucks and vehicles use that before we commit the money.
Unfortunately, the window to do that is like almost past as far as your peak activity, because the ball games are over now. This is not peak farmer season for crossing tracks for the most part. So a lot of your traffic's not gonna be captured. But it's worth.
Does the DOT already have those numbers?
Well, we've got the DOT count, but that's part of the problem is the DOT counts this time of year when traffic's down.
We need to
The
do it in
ideal
the
time to
spring or
count
the
this
fall.
is fall and spring. And when school buses are running and
Mhm.
the farmers are moving around doing field work, because right now,
Was Johnson coming over here? Just not that much.
Yeah, we'll just look. I think we should go over there. Okay.
So what's other counties doing? Are they repairing the crossings? Have you checked?
I talked to Henry County and Louisa. Yeah, and Louisa said they were wanted them to pay for 50,000 something, not for crossing, but something else they wanted to do. But then they turned around and needed some permission of the county for a culvert. So the county said, yeah, we'll charge you 50,000. So they solved their problem.
Okay. Well, railroad, that's private property, basically. So
Unless
why
you're
are we
involved, John.
going to repair private property?
Because they have set the precedent. They told us 3 or 4 years, they just changed their mind. They were gonna put concrete crossings in. They got as far as Pine and they quit. So these crossings, because Dwayne and I drove them from Pine to the east part of the county. 3 of 8 were already concrete. 3 of 8 had half of it was concrete and they didn't do the other part. And 2 of 8 were wood, actually,
Well, when it gets,
3. The one scheduled, so 2.
when it gets so bad, they'll come in and do it. So
They don't, you wanna see
Well-
my pictures?
I was there yesterday.
But then what we're talking about, the difference, what we're talking about here is they're gonna repair the crossings. The question is whether it's concrete or railroad ties.
Yeah.
And then
Big
they fill
safety.
it full of rock or whatever that is that they put in there, whether it's concrete or whether it's steel ties. And then, and so the question, to my way of thinking is that it's possible that the concrete might be smoother. I don't know how long concrete lasts. Obviously, they're working on these concrete crossings now that are here in town for some reason or another. So I'm assuming that there are some problems. Maybe they're just putting more rock in, I don't know.
It's what I understand of rail crossings is over time they settle. So at some point they have to come back in, install, repack new ballast underneath the crossing. to raise it back up. And usually, especially in town where there's higher vehicle traffic, they go with concrete because then they don't have to replace those as often as if they were timbers. And out in the rural areas, they're not as concerned with ride quality or longevity because basically they let them deteriorate and throw some rock in them or some cold mix and call it good until they get to the point where they're a safety hazard.
Which clearly I don't disagree with D as far as, to me, when they're, you put new ties in and gravel and stuff and is it gonna last as long as concrete?
No,
Probably not. But is it gonna last in my lifetime? I don't think it's for that either. But I don't doubt the concrete won't last my lifetime either without having to be replaced. Or at least fixed.
Yeah, see, I think they can take, because those are set down with kind of a cam lock deal. So they can actually take those out, redo it, and then set it back in. Whereas,
So-
the ties wore out. So,
Yeah, right.
So what are we gonna do? We have a motion by D. Nobody has seconded it. And the motion is to put it at 50,000, is that correct?
yeah, there was. We've had discussions since.
I'll second the motion. That doesn't necessarily mean anything other than so we can have a vote. But I wouldn't do anything without seeing a contract. Seeing what the contract says. And have that rolled by the attorney.
Well, this isn't voting on whether we're doing it, it's voting on the resolution, which is for Shannon's purpose.
Yes.
So why don't we just leave?
I'd like to look on her face.
I mean, it is saying that you're doing
Yeah,
it.
it's saying that you're
Right.
committing to doing to that project.
Okay.
So, but we can take that off of the resolution if you don't feel like you're ready to commit to that.
well, they're committed to 25,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we're
yeah,
gonna
could
put
change it to
25,000 on it.
Oh, we did do that, but
Change it to 25.
Yeah,
because unless you go back and unvote it.
Dean, you want to rescind the first motion?
I'll just change it, amend it to 25,000.
Do I have a second on that amount? Yeah. All those in favor?
Right.
No.
Okay, did Shannon, or I'd run quick. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Shannon. Thanks. Okay, do we have our claims? So we first one.
No,
We do not.
So when are we supposed to do those? I thought we had them.
I mean,
They're almost done.
there's quite a few that came in, so she's been here since 7 working on that.
Darcy's printing the report right now.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So can we adjourn this meeting then and come back and do that later or what?
You can sign claims at any time.
Okay.
I mean, like on Mondays when you don't have meetings, you come in and sign claims. Mhm.
Not coming in this Monday.
So motion to
Wait,
adjourn this
will not
meeting
be
then?
here.
Okay.
Motion to
Well-
adjourn.
So I gotta come in, unlock the doors, find the claims.
We can sign, if she's printing them, let's go, whatever Chauncey's gonna come back and sign it.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a
Motion to
second?
adjourn.
Second,
We're
all
not
those in
going-
favor?
We're not standing, we're not going to Johnson's, or he's not coming here.
Did,
Okay.
all those in favor?
I